So I decided to come on a witch walk today. Well, that's what I've decided to call it. Ooh, lovely view. It's a bit breezy, so I'm not sure whether you'll hear me properly. I'm a bit self-conscious actually, because we are on Offers Dyke footpath and it's quite busy throughout the day, so we might meet someone. And in which case I shall stop filming. So a witch walk, or a synchronicity walk if you prefer, is where you're walking with purpose. So you might start off with a few words to your spirit guides or deity for your intent for the walk. Perhaps you want to find something, or it may be something physical like a feather, or it may be something more ephemeral like the answer to a problem, or some inspiration perhaps, or guidance. But it's very hard for me to actually keep watchful because helicopter. I'm conscious that I'm recording. Ooh, it's beautiful. Also, I don't have one of those gimbal things, so it may be a bit wibbly wobbly and awful to watch back. I think it was Peter J. Carroll in his Psychonaut book talked about just putting a timer on, and for that 5 minutes or so that the timer is on, everything that you see or hear or experience is a message for you. And I think this sort of walk is very similar to that, and also being very careful, of course, to come back to mundane reality after you have finished, once the timer has run out. So I have a purpose for this walk, which I probably won't mention, and to be honest I'm not really concentrating. I'm concentrating more on filming. I've never done one of these before, so it's quite fun. Well, filmed it anyway. Here's the gate into the beautiful meadow. We should have some lovely views in a moment. If I can open the gate anyway. Down some rickety tumbly steps. I'm so sorry if this is wobbling all over the place. And into the meadow. Oh, I don't know if you'll see that, but way off in that middle patch of green you can see some walkers heading off up the hill. They're on their way to Pandy, I think. Oh, the wind is really quite ferocious here, so you probably can't hear a word. Which way? There they go. Way over there up the hill. I bet this doesn't come out on camera. I think this is also a lovely thing to do. You know, sometimes when you are gosh, I'm sorry, that's so windy. Sometimes when you are in the doldrums with your craft and you're not feeling magical at all, it happens. Look, a bird of prey. Oh, wow, look at that, it's a kite. You see that, just below the bough of the tree and moving. I bet the camera's not picking it up. Yes, it's a good thing to do when you're in the doldrums and you need a shot of magical input. I wonder if I will find what I have put an intent out for. I'm already happy though. I've seen a beautiful red kite. Isn't that gorgeous? So, a synchronicity walk or a witch walk, you can make a petition and carry it with you in your pocket as you go. I haven't done that today. I've just come out with a little idea. switching to voiceover now to save your poor ears. I was talking about Peter Carroll, who obviously was the sort of, well, founder, not really the founder, but anyway, Chaos Magic, and his idea of doing the timer where you sort of step out of ordinary reality for a few minutes. And I think he talked about just removing the psychic censor, or at least neutralizing it, because we need that censor, as in censor type of censor, for our sanity, but to just be able to step out of that for a few moments. And I think it's a lovely idea that we can do that with this sort of walk, just for those few minutes, to just look at everything and experience everything as if it has some particular meaning for us, and then go back to ordinary reality. There's lots of other ways to make it fun as well. You could use dice, and if you're walking rather than in nature, but if you're walking in an urban environment, you could, flick a dice, and if it's an even number, you go right, and if it's an odd number, you go left. And I was nattering about randonautica. It's a kind of more organic sort of randonautica idea. It's lots of fun to do. And if you're doing it with children, you could build all sorts of rules in, so that if you flip a 2, you have to do something in particular, or if you flip a 6, something else. And, it turns a walk or a meander through either the countryside or the town. It can turn it into a really magical experience. And now I'm just sitting on the log and looking down. You can see the clump of trees straight ahead, and I always imagine it as an ancient druid's grove. I have no idea whether it was or whether it wasn't, but it certainly has that feel about it when you're in there, because it goes down into a huge dip and it's totally surrounded by trees. It's really quite something. So I'm on my way home, and it's a little less windy here, and I did find one thing that I asked for, and I'll show you. I didn't find them just there, I just put them down. Look, really long feather. Can you? I can't see what I'm doing. Where is it? There. Long feather. I find lots of little ones. I collect feathers, I love them. Lots of little ones, but not very often a super long one. Isn't that beautiful? So beautiful. So that was thrilling. It's always so exciting when you find what you've asked for. You can just come out and just be open to something interesting. That works as well. Oh, it's so much calmer here. See you at home. So here we are back at home with my lovely find. I was just reflecting on the walk and I thought, had I been looking for some guidance of any kind, I think there were messages there. There was so much air symbology, wasn't there? The wind was incredible, and there was the helicopter, so that's suggesting sort of to look at something from a new perspective, to change your thinking in a way, and maybe take an overview of things. And then there was the the red kite, and again that's about, I don't know, I could look up the sort of symbology of a red kite, but it's a bird of prey, isn't it? And they're so known for their ability to focus sharply on on their target. So there were messages around that, the birds, the helicopter, the wind. It was all very air oriented. So had I been looking for some guidance or advice, I think that is what I would have taken away from that. And of course finding a feather, which is belongs to the element of air, but that was slightly different, I think, because I had had a specific kind of feather in mind, but then it's not mutually exclusive. And maybe there is something that I need to be focusing sharply on, or maybe I do need to take a broader perspective on things. So yeah, it's just good fun. Another great idea for these sort of walks, or little exercises like this, is to choose a liminal time. So maybe dusk or dawn, or a liminal time of the year, maybe the changeover of the seasons. You can add in all sorts of little magical extras. If you give it a go, do let me know how you get on. I'd love to know. Blessings to you all.